Happy Thursday, Oaklawn race fans, as we come into a 3-day race week, as we come off a fantastic 3 days of racing as well. Nancy Holthus here, joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. We were very lucky and blessed to have Sunday off.
Yeah, we were, definitely. That gave us some chance to sleep and relax.
Saturday was unbelievable. I don't know if you saw the numbers, but 73,000 was the attendance. That's setting a new record, and it felt like 73,000. You'd try to walk anywhere in the plant, it was shoulder to shoulder, and the vibe and the energy, I'm getting goosebumps right now, was phenomenal. What was one of your highlights for Derby weekend, Matt?
Oh, just seeing the pageantry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a celebration and a party, really. It's a celebration of culture and racing, and then on top of it, just a celebration and a party of pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here for all ages. You've got adults, families, kids running around in the infield. I saw a father and a son playing catch in the infield.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
Before it got too crowded, by the way. That was early. Don't want to hit anybody in the head with a baseball. But it was just a phenomenal day. Yeah. And that's the thing about these big days is I'm a racing person. I come here and I'm excited for horse racing and racing. But on a big day like that, the racing is only part of what I'm interested in. I'm interested in being upstairs. I'm lucky I have that view to be able to watch everything.
Yeah.
I even actually, between races, took a race to just walk around and just soak it all in. And it's truly an amazing experience.
And I think that's kind of the case for a lot of people that don't just come for the racing, which is the best in the country. Sure. But like you said, it's the pageantry. It's hanging out with family and friends and just getting the experience. So unbelievable way to kick off the Racing Festival of the South. We saw Counting Stars, really strong effort in the Fantasy Stakes, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's among the top 3 in terms of morning line in the Kentucky Oaks. And of course, we did get to see Renegade to victory in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby, and some very happy connections. And I am very happy to also report a record-setting day for Ring the Bell as well.
Records all around.
Yeah.
We have attendance record, donations record. That's sort of just a microcosm of what the day was all about. Just setting a fantastic atmosphere.
It was a good tired at the end of the day because we knew how just amazing of an experience that was. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather page. It's kind of gloomy outside. It was a few sprinkles a little bit ago, but the track is sealed fast. Winds out of the south at 15 miles per hour. Rain showers in the forecast, especially if you're going to go ahead and look at Saturday's card. I highly recommend you handicap for an off track. Temp is now 68. That's going to go up, and it's still a really good day to join us here at Oaklawn, as we do have 9 races on the card. Let's take a look at our news pages, as there's quite a bit to catch you up on. And first of all, today is discount day on Thursdays. Free parking, free programs, and of course, $1 delicious hot dogs. We also have a $1 Classics Pick 6 carryover. Starts in race 4, $52,483. No pennies in that.
Really?
No
so
pennies.
Flat.
That's one of the first times it's straight across. Yeah, over 52,000. Friday, tomorrow, it's ladies first in the Rainbow Miss, as 3-year-old Arkansas-bred fillies get to get a chance for some stakes action, and another very busy day Saturday. Rain or shine, so be sure to come on out and join us for the Dawn at Oaklawn. Women in Racing, the next generation. Very excited to be joined by Jordan in the racing office, Amanda Poston, a rider, and Jade Cunningham, who is a trainer. They are the future of our sport. Win the Wheel is also Saturday, in addition to Racing Riches. Rainbow Stakes on Saturday as well, where the boys get their chance at stakes action, and we will have the Apple Blossom Draw as well. We'll be giving you more details about that when we get closer to the day. And Razorback winner Magnitude on Saturday morning wins the $12 million Dubai World Cup. We've seen Steve Asmussen use the Razorback before to take that same springboard, and congratulations, felicidades to jockey Francisco Arrieta, who was awarded Jockey of the Week. That is huge, Matt, because you look at all the massive stakes action that we have, even over in Dubai, around the world, and our own Francisco Arrieta, who had 2 stakes wins on the Friday program with Counting Stars, and of course, Holland Ice in the Matron. And how cool is it that Arkansas Derby winner Renegade has been 4-1 favored for the Kentucky Derby? That is big. And even though we do have a few more qualifying races this weekend, I think Renegade could certainly stand a chance in the top.
Someone would have to come with a really big effort in order to sort of overtake him as the favorite, and he should be. I mean, even though Commandment got 100 buyer, he got a 98. I only read so much of that. He checks every box of a Kentucky Derby legit contender, and we can go over that in a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to really compare those two against each other. As we mentioned, 73,000 fans. We're here this past Saturday for Arkansas Derby, and with that said, we want to thank the fans, all the horsemen, every team member in front of the scenes, behind the scenes for a record day. We could not do that without that support. So we come off a 3-day race week and move into another 3-day race week as we are dark on Sunday for the observance of Easter. So it's going to be a nice little break again, but we're gearing up, as you saw, for the Apple Blossom, and then the following week for the Oaklawn Handicap.
Yeah, I mean, the fun doesn't stop here after Arkansas Derby week, of course. We've got the Apple Blossom, which is a very prestigious race and a big deal, especially when you look at fillies and mares and getting grade 1 placings and wins. It's a historical race. You look at the list of horses that have won. Some of the great fillies and mares of our time have won this race. So it should be a fun race. Looking at the nominations list, which was posted a few days ago, I think we'll get an okay-sized field there. The Count Fleet also on Apple Blossom Day.
I love the Count Fleet. It's produced some serious runners.
It has, and I think we're going to get a decent-sized field there as well because there are really no standouts this year. And then, of course, the Oaklawn Handicap. And if the major contenders stay in play to run there, then we're going to look at quite the showdown between a Kentucky Derby winner and a Breeders' Cup Classic winner.
It's going to be very interesting. You won't want to miss it. One of my favorite things about my job is getting letters from our viewers, and Bob Bainter in Edwardsville, Illinois, has written us another letter. I so look when I get that envelope delivered to me, I just get happy because the art of writing a letter is just pretty much non-existent anymore. But I do want to thank Bob for all of your amazing memories that you've shared with us. I'm going to let Matt read this, but he was here, way back in the day, I think when Pat Pope first started as racing secretary. So he's got some amazing stories. So Bob, thank you so much for sharing your words with us. It really does mean a lot. Matt, what do you think? We got 9 races on the card.
Yeah. I think there's some opportunity for value here today.
Okay.
And I think it's a pretty competitive card, all things considered. So it's sort of like, the battery was fully charged last week. By the end of the week, it was in the red zone. I mean, for both of us and a lot of other people, surely as well.
Low power mode, basically.
It was low enough to where I went to Taco Bell after the races on Arkansas Derby Day and headed home to take a nap, a long one. But this week, we're back to the green.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're at 100%, if not close to it. And
yes.
It's just great to be here, Nancy, at Oaklawn, where the sun always shines, as we call it. And this is a place where every day we race, there's something to look forward to.
You and I got to see each other on Tuesday for a very important moment as the longstanding voice of track announcer Terry Wallace was inducted into the Arkansas Walk of Fame. And if you don't know, that's downtown in Hill Wheatley Plaza on Central Avenue. So it was very well deserved. Terry's widow and his son were there, and his son has Terry's smile.
Definitely.
I mean, it was really, really such a great moment. Eric Jackson spoke, myself, Ron Moquette, and several other individuals. But yeah, we were very honored to be part of that, and it was very well deserved.
Definitely. I mean, this man was not only devoted to Oaklawn horse racing, but he was devoted to the community. Yeah. He just did countless acts of charity work, and an ambassador that is impossible to top in terms of what he did for the community. I wish I could have met him and chatted with him in person. That would have been a nice thing. But he was somebody who really set the bar high, especially in the position I'm in today, being the announcer here. And it just feels like there's a little bit of Terry, even though he's not with us anymore. There's a little bit of him that's still always here with us.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And it's funny because, I knew Terry first as a race announcer here at Oaklawn, but also as a family friend because he and my dad would play doubles together frequently. Cool. So we'd always come back with some words of wisdom from Terry. So yeah, very well deserved. And
Frank Miramati sent in a video.
You know what? I love that. I was on the stage, so I didn't get to see it, but I heard it, and I did text Frank yesterday and say it was such a beautiful, heartfelt tribute. Because he was the one that took the reins off from Terry. So yeah,
and that's hard to do.
Yes.
When
Big
you
shoes
replace
to fill.
a legend.
Yeah.
I know the feeling when Robert Geller left Emerald Downs. He was the only track announcer in history there, and it was 20 years that he was there.
That's amazing.
And actually, the Washington Breeding Association, they actually gave me, after my first week, giant shoes with flowers in it, and the card said, "You have big shoes to fill, but you're doing a good job."
That's very cool. That's awesome.
When you replace someone like a Terry, you can't replace Terry. He was who he was, and he is not replaceable.
Right.
But you can fill your own. You can make your own shoes. You can fill your own shoes.
Everybody
and do the best
has their
can.
own things that they can bring to the table. So yeah. So you were definitely filled some amazing shoes thus far. Let's get into it. Race number 1, as this is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Maiden claiming 16,000, and they are going to contest a 1 mile and a 16th in distance. Matt, we've got a field of 9 to start things off, and we've got some professionals and some lightly raced contenders.
Which make for an interesting handicapping puzzle, because when you starting to get into professional maiden territory, a horse like Miracle Minded, who's at 7-1, I think he's going to get bet a little bit more as we get closer to post time. He's 0 for 12. Kava 9-2, 0 for 18. It's hard to trust him.
Yeah.
But this is the great thing about handicapping, is that there is no formula as to finding winners.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different factors that can determine who's going to win at the end of the day. I picked a Sweet 443 in this race, just a big class drop for him. His 3-back effort, the last time we saw him routing, he ran in a maiden optional $40,000 claimer at Delaware, and he ran second that day. Not a bad effort from him. His speed figures were a little bit higher earlier in his career, so he hasn't necessarily gone in the right direction. But I also feel that this filly here is one that on the class drop is going to get what she needs to be successful. She finds her friends here. I think that she can lay fairly close and stock the pace. She's come from off the speed in sprints. Here I think she's going to be a little more prominent, and I really think the class drop is what the doctor ordered here to really get everything going to the winner's circle.
Do you happen to, there's 2 different possibilities of what Sweet 443 is named after.
Okay, I wouldn't know either of them.
Okay. The first is the medical marijuana dispensary named Sweet 443 here on the edge of Hot Springs, but also Sweet 443 was the room number that Al Capone stayed in at the Arlington Hotel.
My guess would probably be the latter. That'd be probably my guess as to why they named the horse.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you, that tells you exactly that I don't participate in those types of activities on the weekend if I didn't know what Sweet 443 was. So
that's okay. That's okay.
There was a filly that won first out at Golden Gate named Electric Lettuce. And that
sounds like a rave club or something.
It's a term for marijuana.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. I gave some catchy line. I forgot what it was. It was years ago. But so this is the second marijuana-based name in my racing career that I've seen at the races. Potentially, Nancy.
I am going to go with a professional maiden in here. Hopefully today is the day for Kava. Has taken on some pros and some lightly contested runners in this field, hoping to make her 19th start, the one, but has posted a pair of seconds in her last 2 starts. I like to see that action last go and stretching out to today's level and facing open company. She sat off pretty pedestrian fractions to run second. A 5-length winner wired the field in that division, but she still held off several that are returning today. So I like to see when professional maidens, that light bulb finally coming on. So we'll see if today's the day.
Look, I've seen horses that are 0 for 25, 0 for 28 finally get it done.
Yep.
So I don't love to play those in general.
Yeah.
I can, but I don't love to.
Yep.
it's all a case-by-case basis, but it is certainly not impossible to see a runner like this finally find her friends and the light bulb turned on.
Sometimes it just happens. It's their day.
Speaking of light bulbs, you're going to see, let's see who's the favorite in race number 2. You'll see the name. This is a great segue.
Okay. Race number 2 is for 4 and up, a 12.5 starter allowance set to go 1.1 miles in distance. And Bright Spark is your even money favorite.
What a segue, huh, Nancy? That was one of the smoothest segues we've had all season. Bright Spark. Well, I think this horse is even money on the morning line, and justifiably so after 2 runner-up finishes behind good horses, Money Run and Gewürztraminer. Even though this runner runs at the same condition as we saw in the last couple tries, this horse is facing an easier group as a whole and has finished ahead of these horses multiple times, the main contenders in this race. So not a ton to say here other than this horse should be tough.
Yes, I certainly agree. Did join the barn off the $10,000 claim 3 back and has done really well producing a pair of runner-up finishes at this level and distance, and I like that Christian Torres does keep those that retain the mount, so I think that's a big deal. Solid at the distance and also in the money all 6 starts here at Oaklawn. Race number 3 is non-winners of 2 for $50,000 claiming. They are all 3-year-old fillies, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Let's take a look. Did have several scratches, however, taking out numbers 3, 4, and 8. Those being some key scratches. So 3, 4, and 8 out of race number 3.
And amazingly, this remains a pretty competitive race in a smaller field. But, that happens sometimes. I saw a lot of Golden Gate with smaller field sizes where even though there's 6, 7 horses in a race, you can make a case for all of them, if not 4 or 5 at the very least. So with that in mind, I scratched into What's Up Dog, who's your third pick in here, Dancy. This runner last time out in a starter allowance didn't get the greatest trip, didn't break well, so it didn't really help herself, and was 5th in a field of 10 in a very strung out field. So that 13-length loss, actually, it wasn't a great effort necessarily, but at the same time wasn't as horrible as it looked. Didn't get a great trip that day. Didn't break well. Was wide on the turn. Got caught wide turning for home. Facing a little bit of a lighter field this time around. And I'm hoping that Manny Esquivel, who's aboard today, can get this one to break better this time and get this one a little bit closer. Was the runner-up to a next out winner, Tizen Sight, who, if she was eligible for this race, would be the heavy favorite. So her 2-back race actually makes her fairly competitive in here.
Well, I'm going to go with the number 5, What's the Tea? I say that probably 3 times a day. She is back in for a tag in her second start versus winners, and also second start off of that maiden 24 claim when she won by 11 lengths. Now, she does come off a bit of a tiring 4th when facing tougher starter allowance runners and chased some really, really quick fractions. They went the half in 44 and 3. They were absolutely motoring home, and they did come home in 110 flat, so very quick fractions that particular day. The barn does fare well, second off the claim at 14%, and we'll see if we can get Johnny Ortiz to the winner's circle. Race number 4 is for fillies and mares. Nobody in for the optional claim tag, but they are all remaining in first level allowance company. They'll go 1.16 miles, fillies and mares. And Matt, this is the start of the $1 Classics Pick 6 with that carryover of over $52,000.
That's right. We have a good carryover.
Very
and remember,
good
this is a traditional carryover. This is not a jackpot wager.
I'm not a fan of jackpots, personally.
Neither am I. Neither am I. I think that you can dive into it and you see that it's hard to hit, first of all. And they're really looking for that continuous carryover so they can get that mandatory in a big pool. But I like the traditional wagers. Yeah. I think a lot of us, Nancy, like traditional things. I
agree.
In general, especially in racing. But so don't worry if there's 10 people that hit this thing today, for example. It's going to pay fine. And with the jackpot component, for example, you're not going to get as good of a payoff if it's not a mandatory day. So this is one of our feature races today. I picked Pronghorn in here. Your second pick, Nancy. We're flip-flopping our top 2 here. I thought her last race was not bad. She was close to the pace, and the pace was decent and got run past late by a filly who I like. I've always liked Pahojo de Oro, and I like that Untamed Moment who ran third that day, wheeled back quickly and won for fun at this level, her next start. So Pronghorn's form is flattered here. Her only poor effort in her last few races had come 2 starts ago, and she didn't get a great trip that day, was well behind. So I think Pronghorn, if she runs that last race, I think she's going to be right there at the finish here.
Well, I'm a big fan of Lonnie Briley. He sends out the number 4 Floating Beauty with Christian Torres in the irons. She's been in the money her last 6 starts. 2 of those have been very productive, making a trip to the winner's circle. She really impressed, though, 2 back at today's level and distance, breaking from the 12 post. Not an easy thing to do, and did hustle up to finish second. Now, she was closer to the pace last out. She settled mid-pack and did get up for the show spot as the favorite, and did have Christian in the irons for both of those efforts. So we'll see if Lonnie Briley can make a trip to the winner's circle on today being Thursday. And he and his owner are featured in our program today as well.
Norman
so,
State.
Yeah. So good luck to them. Race number 5 is for 4-year-olds and up, an $8,000 claiming event set to go 1 mile and a 16th in distance. And as we take a look, just scratches of the number 11 Dick Best and the 12 Hoppin' John, which I'm a big fan of Hoppin' John. It's delicious.
Is it?
Yes, very southern dish. Yeah. Black
That's
eyed
why I'm not that
peas.
familiar with it, because I'm not that southern.
Exactly. We're gonna adopt you southern. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, you've done a pretty good job at it already, because I love it here and I ain't going anywhere. So.
That's good to know.
Dick Best scratching affects the pace scenario in here, Nancy, definitely. But there's a couple other speed in here. Little Steven, this is going to help him, your top pick, and you can get to him in a little bit. I picked Hot Gunner in here. I do not think that 2-back race where he won at 23-1 for 12.5 in a restricted 12.5 race was a fluke. I do not. I think he was underbet severely. He had run well against tougher company, was coming in off a little bit of a layoff, and just got overlooked that day. Now, last time out after that win, I think they placed him a little bit too ambitiously, ran in a tough starter allowance race, and didn't do much running that day. He passed some tired horses, but he just wasn't good enough, so cross it out. Back in for a lower tag, $8,000 today. Should get a good stocking trip here under David Cabrera, and I think the connections are doing a little bit of a rain dance here, hoping the track stays wet, because he's 2 for 2 over the wet going. So that's another thing that I like.
That's a definite bonus right there. I am going to go to the number 6, Little Steven. John Horan and Walter De La Cruz team up here. I'm just going to draw a line through this runner's last out when he faced some pretty tough 12.5 starters going a mile. He did flash some early speed, but he phoned it in late and just kind of walked through the finish line to finish last go. But I do anticipate him showing off that early speed again today, especially as he does get some class relief on the drop. And I really like that his last win came today's exact $8,000 claiming level, where he lit up the board at 44-1. So I think he might actually get overlooked and go, as you mentioned, Matt, with Hot Gunners, a really good shot in here. And a lot of horses are getting some class relief after facing tougher last go as well. So a lot of them, I think, are going to show some much needed improvement.
I think so. And it just makes for a very competitive race on these class-dropping types of races. And that's what's hard about winning here, is you get horses that run in tougher, and maybe they're not quite competitive, and they do get aggressive with their spotting here because the purses are good enough to where you can.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break on this Thursday edition of Oaklawn Today, and when we return, we'll come back with race 6.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Fans first, fun always. Join us on April 25th for Oaklawn's Fan Appreciation Day. Earn entries for a Fan Appreciation Day drawing by swiping your ID on Thursdays, Fridays, or Sundays for double entries, and on Saturdays for a single entry. After each of the first 7 races on April 25th, 5 lucky fans will be called to claim cash prizes ranging from $300 to $1,000. Make sure to activate your entries by swiping before race 7 to be eligible for the final drawing, where 5 fans will take home $1,000 each. And the fun doesn't stop there. Enjoy free parking, snag some Oaklawn swag, and grab a voucher for free popcorn or a hot dog and soda while supplies last. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 25th, so you don't miss out on prizes, perks, and pure Oaklawn fun. Only on Fan Appreciation Day.
Racing season at Oaklawn reaches the final stretch with a major car giveaway. Earn entries in our 24/7 smoke-free casino in April for qualifier and free play drawings. And racing fans can receive entries every live race day starting April 2nd for the racing qualifier drawings. All leading up to our horsepower giveaway, where one lucky guest drives away in a brand new Ford Bronco Raptor sponsored by Riser Ford. From the paddock to the pavement, one moment decides it all. Only at Oaklawn.
That beautiful Ford Bronco is parked right outside by the American Pharoah statue, and you get a chance to win that Ford Bronco Raptor on Kentucky Derby Day. So you do have to swipe to qualify. You can look at our program for all the details, and as you saw, some nice little highlights that we're going to show before race 1, which is a beautiful recap of this past weekend, which our social media team put together, just giving all of those amazing highlights, because there's so much going on, you might have missed something.
They do a great job.
Yes, they do. So proud of those girls.
Our media team, and they work tirelessly.
Yes.
Trust me on that one. And just the way they make these videos, I mean, they have all the action shots and the music. It gets me fired up.
The editing is superb, the way that
Top
they
notch,
can,
for sure.
Absolutely the best in the business. Race number 6 is for 3-year-old fillies, a maiden special weight event, and it's going to go 6 furlongs in distance. We did have a scratch of the number 5 McSniper. McSniper will not be firing today.
No.
See what I did there?
Exactly.
Pa-ting.
Where's the drum set when you need it? I do like
rim
that,
shot.
though, Nancy. That wasn't that corny.
Yeah, it was kind of corny, but who do you like here, Matt, in the 6th?
I like Blondie's in Charge. And by the way, Blondie was a very good musical group back in the day. I do
Yes.
enjoy Blondie. So Blondie's in Charge, 3-year-old filly here by Global Campaign. I mean, there's a lot that I could say about this. I think there are a lot of things to like. Lindsay Schultz, first of all, she's 15% with maiden second-time starters. It's a much higher number for her than first-time starters. So her horses, she comes from the Shug McGahee School of Training,
Right.
which is, hey, if we give them a race, that's okay. Let's give them a good experience. If they win, they win. Great. If not, no problem. Maybe not 100% crank first out. This runner was working like a filly that could run, and I have her workout in February, her last one before her first race on Out of the Starting Gate this week was my workout play. And usually I give a workout play where the runners work. That was a week before they run. But in this situation, she showed me she could run. She was in the hands the whole way, did it easy. Was in a maiden optional claimer, didn't break well, rushed up the stock while keen. They tried to get her to relax, and then she faded down the lane. Not a great trip. She's freshened up since then, and she's bumping up from maiden optional 75 to maiden special weight. I don't usually take runners like this. I think it's a difficult bump up to do, but I like that they're putting her in this race. She's drawn outside, and the fact she's in a maiden special weight tells me they must like how she's working since her first race. I also like this angle, and then I'll be done. $25,000 sale purchase. I used to do this all the time with Golden Gate horses. If they were bought for $5,000, $10,000 in a maiden special weight, you play them because economically, financially, you could put this filly in for $30,000 would make sense. But the fact that she's in for maiden special weight, if you see a runner that was purchased for a low price and they're in a maiden special weight or a higher maiden type of race, that's a positive. That's telling you they think they can run a little bit.
I like that. So, yeah, very lightly contested group, 3 first-time starters in the field. I'm going to go to the number 1, Lake Louise. Mark Cassie and Francisco Arrieta teaming up as they had a pretty efficient weekend last go. It was a very big effort for her 19 days ago when facing similar. That particular race in the debut, she was all the way on the outside in the 10 post position. Today, it is the opposite as she gets down on that rail. She sat off the early pace, closed in the lane, and ran second to her stablemate Empath, who scored at 17-1. And this runner could get a similar pace scenario today, but Cassie is 17% with runners second time out, sired by Curlin, who is 16% at that same level. And she's also half sister to a 2-year-old stakes winner. So I think it's going to be all on Francisco to really get out of that one hole and get into good position early, because from that one hole, it can be make or break.
It can be. I mean, when you're in the one hole and you're in this race in a sprint, you got to break. The good thing for her is that she doesn't seem like a filly that needs to be close or really wants to be. She can stalk, but she doesn't need to be on the lead. So that's a positive.
Yeah. Race number 7 is for 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3, $22,000 claim tag, and they are going to go 6 furlongs in distance and did have some significant scratches. Matt's favorite founding father, the number 5, Ben Franklin, and also the number 7, Skylar, is out.
You know, Ben Franklin, fun fact about him, he was a very good swimmer. And he is in the actual, believe it or not, Nancy, the Swimming Hall of Fame. Ben Franklin.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can look it up. He was a very good swimmer. Which is a little, I mean, nowadays you think in 2026, like Michael Phelps, strong, buff, you know.
It's not like they had swimming pools back then. I mean, what? Is this like an April Fool thing?
No. We're on April 2nd, Nancy. We're past that. Yeah, he's in the Swimming Hall of Fame, believe it or not. I don't know if he swam in the ocean or what it was.
It's interesting.
But I say that because you would think Ben Franklin would like a little bit of rain here, but
so
I guess he's going to have to wait.
To take off the wig and the coats and the buckle shoes and all that kind of stuff.
I guess he's waiting for the sunshine today. So
Did
that's
not know
why
that. I learned something new every day. That was it.
You trust me, you can, Nancy, every day in this world. We're always trying to learn something new every day, and there's a lot to learn, let me tell you. Some things a little more interesting and fun than others.
That was pretty interesting, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So.
If I really want to do something, I research it. If I really want to know something.
There you go.
So my dad, he always tells me, he says, Matt, you need to read more books. If I want to read, I'll read if it's something that's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, my top pick in here is Colonel Caliente, who's going to be favored now with the scratch of Ben Franklin, coming off about a 3-length win last time out for 16 non-2 and for 22 non-3. So that last race, non-2, means that all the horses in that race had yet to win twice. They had won once. This runner here now in the next logical spot, once they win for non-2, they go to non-3. First off the claim for Ray Ashford, who's 3 for 7 first off the claim. Ray's having a very good meet. This runner here has won over the wet going before, including last time out, and won nicely that day too. And Ray does a solid job, so I'm hoping he can build off of that win with this horse, making his first start for the new connections here.
Yeah, this runner has been a very hot commodity in the claim box and does debut, as Matt mentioned, for those new connections. I wouldn't be surprised to see him sitting just off of Copper Echo, who breaks to his outside, but does look to get a really good setup with jockey Rafael Bejarano in the irons. Race number 8 is for 3-year-old fillies, a first-level allowance optional claiming of $150,000, and this is set to go 6 furlongs. Did have a key scratch of your second choice on the morning line, the number 5, Mow 'em Down. Also, the 6 is out as well.
Little Miss Curlin, boy, she has run well against Louisiana breds, hasn't she, Nancy? Yes. She's won 3 stakes races at the fairgrounds this winter and late fall. But last time out, she went off as the even money favorite in the Dixie Belle Stakes against Open here at Oaklawn, and disappointed that day. Got a good stocking trip and faded. Now, it's worth noting, in Louisiana, it's not a HISA-regulated track. Mm-hmm. So here at Oaklawn and other HISA-regulated tracks, if you run in stakes races, you're not running on Lasix. There is no Lasix you can run on in stakes races at any HISA track. Louisiana, that's not the case. She ran on Lasix. And why that's important is because she's in this allowance today and she's back on the Lasix. Agreed. So I don't know if that's the key to her success. I don't know if last time out maybe she got overbet against Open Company and she was facing lighter foes than Open Company foes in those restricted Louisiana bred races. But she certainly was winning the right way. And I'd have to imagine if she can run back to those races, then she's going to be just fine against this field here. It's a question mark off that last run, but I do like the fact that she is back on the Lasix here, and maybe that's what she needs, along with a class drop, to get another win. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was facing Open Company for the first time, or also the fact she contested over a sloppy surface for the first time as well. Really, really like this filly today. She was in that, as Matt mentioned, the Dixie Belle, and the winner, French Friction, is 9-2 in the Grade 1 Ashland tomorrow at Keeneland. So did come up against a very, very nice filly. But I particularly love not only the back on Lasix, but also that Jareth Loveberry has shipped in to take them out as he was in the irons for her 3 stakes victories in Louisiana. So she's obviously trained forward. She's produced 4 consecutive bullet works in the morning. So I think she's a little superstar in the making.
She could be. I mean, she's looked fantastic in those Louisiana-bred restricted races, and it's a little bit hard to gauge in a way because sometimes those don't come up the strongest types of races, but she certainly was winning the right way. So especially if those numbers are legit, she's a legit, really fast filly.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing her in the paddock as well. Race number 9 as we close out the Thursday 9-race card. This is for Arkansas breds, 4-year-olds and up, non-3, claiming price $25,000, and the distance is 6 furlongs. Scratch the number 5, Razorback Army, and scratch the 7, Burlsworth. And if you were looking for a Razorback hunch play, you're going to have to wait another day.
Yes, you will. And Lewis Matthews Jr., he has a lot of those. So don't worry. I'm sure his younger horses that he purchases or breeds, you're going to see some more Razorback names. I picked Strato in here, third off a layoff for Ron Moquett. I thought that last race, second off the break, was really a big improvement from him. This horse has always had ability, but he's not necessarily a stakes horse either. And I like the route that sometimes, especially trainers like Ron do. He really does a good job getting them into shape as they go on in the meet. We've seen that historically from him. Third start in a form cycle, horses at times can be at their peak fitness. Now, he took a big bump forward last time out, ran 4th and ran sort of a subpar number in a good race, then came back and improved, took a leap forward, ran 3rd, beating a length and a quarter to a real nice back class horse, Al's Romeo. This is, I think, a lighter group. He's going to have to turn the tables on King Peanut number 4, but King Peanut's also 2 for 21. He's got that herd mentality.
Yeah.
So I think if Strato, even if he runs back to his last race, he's going to be just fine in here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the number 4, King Peanut, who does debut for the barn of Rob Atras today. He was the 2023 Rainbow Stakes winner and then runner-up in the Arkansas Breeders' Championship. The Rainbow also being the last time he did make a trip to the winner's circle, so it has been a minute, but he has represented himself very well against open company and did return to face fellow Archiebreds in his last 2 starts, posting a pair of seconds. I think he's certainly moving in that right direction. Last out was to a 6-time winner in Al's Romeo and finishing in front of many that do return in today's group. So a really good way to go out for the Thursday card.
Yeah, it's a fun little group here to end the day. And we got a fun week in store, and we see Arkansas breds in the last race today, and that's really the theme this week. We have the Rainbow Mist tomorrow and then the Rainbow Stakes, both for Arkansas breds. So a good week to showcase our state breds.
I agree. Let's take a look at our $20 show bet bonus parlay, our long shot and top pick of the afternoon. Matt's going to start in race 4 with Pronghorn. Go to Colonel Caliente, Little Miss Curlin, and Strato in the nightcap. While I go 2, 4, 6, 8. Long shot play of the day, Matt in race 6 with Blondie's in Charge. While I go 1 race prior with Little Steven. Top pick sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt and I both choosing the 4 horses. His in race 2 with Bright Spark. Myself in race 4 with Floating Beauty. If you want to get a little more highlights from this past weekend, you had a podcast that you recorded, and tell us what some of the topics were on that.
Well, we had a really fun discussion. It wasn't a super long discussion, but it was a really good discussion with Rick Brasher, one of our stewards, our associate steward here at Oaklawn. We went over an inquiry on Arkansas Derby Day, and we also asked him a couple questions about what that process is like to call an inquiry, what kind of conversations stewards are having. And I thought it was interesting because especially you and I and everybody else out there, when we're, whether in our office, sitting on the couch at home, after 2 or 3 replays, you usually get an opinion. Well, there should be a change. Well, there shouldn't be a change. This took about 10 minutes. So one of the questions... It was lengthy. And one of the questions I did ask him is, okay, for judges, what kind of conversations are you having that takes 10 minutes to make a decision? So not only do we talk about why they made the decision, but also that process. And I think that the whole industry NYRA does it. They have a weekly show where the stewards come on and
Okay.
give their description. I think transparency is extremely important. I think
Agreed.
it's something our business can work on in terms of transparency for stewards' rulings. And I think the betting public and the customers, the horsemen as well, deserve that transparency. So we talked about that. We talked about all the big performances on Arkansas Derby week, and also our big races this week, including our 8th race feature today.
I love that. So you can go on Oaklawn's YouTube channel. It's all across, posted on our social medias as well. It's going to be a phenomenal, another great week of racing here at Oaklawn. And Matt's going to head up to the roof. You'll see me in the paddock. And for Matt Dinnerman, I'm Nancy Holthus. Good luck and good racing.